Nobody likes to miss out on what's going on. Nobody likes to know that they missed out on something that could have been anticipated ahead of time. BloomBurrow is going to be a knocked out of the ballpark success, and there are telltale signs going on in the market right now which give indications of what players are thinking about when they think of BloomBurrow. Stay tuned, guys. BloomBurrow may be 5 months away from its release date in August, and already it is setting itself up to be the biggest smash hit that Wizards of the Coast has had in years. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. A reminder, if you enjoy the Moxman, if you want to see more of my content, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and you're helping me get closer to that grand goal of 50,000 subscribers. So today we're talking about Magic the Gathering's release of BloomBurrow. There's a lot of obvious signs that this set is really setting itself up for success. Now, some of the easiest things would be to say, hey, when this thing even got announced, players had a feel-good vibe about this set. There was already a building anticipation of what this set could really be upon release. Even the fact that players' imaginations were getting going and getting built up to something is very hard for Wizards of the Coast to do nowadays. So this led to already that feeling, the anticipation. That's a great thing. The dopamine hit, the adrenaline rush of a new set coming out that players want to have, that's crazy. That's something Wizards of the Coast can't make happen. It has to come from a well-built set, or at least at this point in our conversation, a good concept design. And that's what they've done. Now, the closer we got after the announcement, we saw a couple pieces of imagery and artwork, and of course, most people would think of that squirrel in the kind of like necromancer's cloak type thing with the dead skulls and stuff in the background. That blew people's minds, and that got people jumping on board, thinking about squirrel decks, Modern Horizons 2. It got the imagination flowing yet again. It's a good sign. Now, here's where things get more concrete, not just a feeling. Here's where it gets firmer and firmer the closer we get to release. And that is people putting their money where their mouth is. You can say the idea of tribal theme decks, commander decks, and all those other things that players like to tie together when they like to be creative is one of the draw points for a set like this. Squirrels, cats, dogs, it's been a real big thing. Everyone loves a cute, fuzzy animal. I'm included in this conversation. I can't help myself. And I'm trying to be impartial when I do a video like this, but it's very hard because the excitement starts building within you as you're talking about something that you yourself are anticipating. So I'm looking at saying, how else do we know that this is firming up to be a smash hit? Now, when I show you things like this, which is the pre-sale orders from things like Amazon, here's the Commander decks. Commander deck bundle includes all four, blah, blah, blah. 1,000 plus sold, $189. Okay. BloomBurrow Play Booster Box, 700 boxes have sold at $174. Okay. Then we got the Collector Booster Boxes. Hey, $279. We sold 800 plus. And then they show some of the individual Commander deck there. And it's $47. It sold 1,000 plus. Okay. Now you can jump over and look at the bundle packs. Sold 1,000. Some other individual Commander decks, they sold various amounts. Even the new starter kits. The starter deck pack of 2 decks. $19, it sold 600 plus. Well, that may not seem that impressive, right? You're like, okay, it's like 1,000 boxes. And those orders can be canceled. I'm well aware. They could be canceled because it's an Amazon thing. You don't like it, you can cancel it. But here's where the rubber meets the road. It's 5 months away. Thunder Junction is 20-something days away. And it doesn't have that high of an order volume. Either did Karlov Manor, because those sets were not nearly as anticipated. Yes, they have their fans and detractors, but they weren't as anticipated as an upcoming release as BloomBurrow was at its announcement. So that is the indicator, the beginning of what we're talking about. But then you start having your pre-orders go up at your local LGS. Your LGS is going to require you to put down real money, because they've got to use that cash to go and place the pre-order to make sure you can have your product on release day. So you got to pay real money. And it's a lot of cash. But here's another advantage of a standard set. It's not as expensive as a premium set. Stores are willing to order a little bit more. And the pre-orders can actually be placed with less chance of things being canceled. At least at this point. Because being able to analyze the data that we've seen in previous sets and come to the conclusion that things could go wrong really fast if some crazy power creep cards do appear in this set. Like Mabel the Mouse with Cragflame. We don't know what kind of equipment cards we're going to get. We don't know how these animals are going to interact with current created decks out there. It gives a lot of opportunity for Wizards of the Coast to spread their wings in a set like this that players need to be aware of, and that's what they've been doing. They're putting down hard-earned money, and they are pre-ordering these boxes because, yes, they cost less. And if the boxes go up, because it gets kind of crazy, like a Fallout situation, players can now see what happened with Fallout. A history has been made that we know Wizards may really have too tight of a control on collector boxes that allows speculators to scoop up parts of the market before we even get there. Which is why we have to pay attention to a set like this. Because if you want to be able to open it on the pre-release weekend, you want to get your collector box and you want to open it. You don't want to wait 90 days for the price to come back down to earth if there's some weird shenanigans going on because speculators got involved. You don't want to be held up that way. You want to be able to buy it, hold it, know that it's been paid for, and then you'll be able to pick it up. Players are doing it. And the number of pre-orders is rising daily. It may not be showing on something like Amazon, because those can be canceled. But your LGS may only be ordering 1 case or 2 cases or 3 cases because they're not going to risk their own capital nowadays. They're way too smart for that, way too savvy. They know there's going to be a lot of singles flipping in that first 30, 60 days. But then we also know that after that, things can dry up, so the stores don't take the risk. They want your money to make sure that you get the product you want. And hopefully they don't cancel. We hope they won't. But then something else happened. All these things are indicators of how well this set is going to be received. And going to make Wizards of the Coast so much money. But then this happened as well. Last week, you guys probably saw this yourselves. Beetle and Grimm's MTG BloomBurrow token set. $73 Canadian. You saw the mock-up and stuff. People were looking at it. People were just losing their minds. Because the cards that were shown, the cute little tokens and the fish and all the stuff. And even though it's a token set, the amount of comments saying, I can't wait for BloomBurrow. This is going to be so exciting. I already put my order in. I've already done X, Y, Z. I can't wait to put this all together. I'm going to add the... That doesn't seem fake to me. It doesn't seem like a pressured hype train from Wizards of the Coast. It seems very natural. It seems very organic. And that is another sign to me that not only are people putting their money down, which is a huge indicator, they actually outlaid cash, that now we are seeing real organic growth of anticipation for this product daily. The fact people are going out there and trying to buy deranged hermits. And the speculators are getting in saying, oh, this set's going to be huge. Because they can realize the same signs we're talking about. They can read between the lines and see where this conversation is going. And they are trying to head off the battleground. They are trying to set up the game pieces so they can come out on top. And that means buying things like deranged hermits in case you do get some crazy squirrels. They're looking at cards like... all the dogs, the cats. You're looking at every animal that could be in this set, that could link to something else, as well as all the soldiers and all the knights that could connect to those decks and say, which ones can we hit, which ones are going to fit in well, and how can we make... All of that just tells you that the set's going to be a smash. It is going to be huge. And even if the set bombs in its actual creation, the money's already been spent, and it's already going to make Wizards of the Coast money. So I'm not here to hash it out and say that's good or that's bad. I'm just saying all the signs are lining up. The stars are lining up in a perfect formation to say success. And there's not much that's going to change. The anticipation is only going to build. Because people wondering what cool mice or rats they're going to get. People wonder if they're going to get new bears. People wonder if they're going to get new foxes, raccoons, otters. Whatever your party favor is, players are looking forward to it. The equipment cards, the ideas of these things being put together, the adventuring party thing, which could bring around more clerics, more D&D mechanics. The fact that the rumor mill is going all the time, just like it did for Dungeons and Dragons, Adventures in Forgotten Realms. Although the set seemed weak and underpowered overall, at the time when it came out, the pre-release weekend, the excitement, the hype, the dopamine, adrenaline rush we got with the anticipation of a D&D set, that was massive. It was well played. It was organic. And imagine how D&D would have been received if they had just paid a little bit more attention to some of the cards. Given some of the cards the personal touch they needed to really be successful as a set and bring about a whole series of these Dungeons and Dragons sets, which they still could do. They could have learned from their mistakes, but that's for another day. That's another whole conversation. So when you add all these little jigsaw pieces together this far in advance, you better pay attention to this set. No, it's not going to sell. Commander decks are going to be available. The starter decks will be around. The only thing I'm thinking could really get messed up is going to be those collector boxes again. But even then, that's only if you don't buy in advance, get it prepared and wrapped up ahead of time, because speculators can come in, and if stores see that there's some crazy cards, they may jack up the prices. So paying attention to that is important to make sure you get the best deal you can for the set we're all looking forward to. It's crazy. All I hear people talking about, Modern Horizons 3, BloomBurrow. They want to have it, and they want to have it now, and they're willing to bypass a lot of other stuff and save up for it to make sure they get what they want. Either way, I got to know what you guys are thinking. Are you buying BloomBurrow? Are you diving into this set head first? I mean, I think I put a poll question up at the same time I was building this video up for you guys, so I can't wait to see what you guys say, because the money that's starting to move into BloomBurrow already in anticipation, it's big. It's a lot of money compared to most things we've seen, other than the premium price sets like Fallout. This is the biggest I've seen it in a while, guys. Crazy. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Drop some comments in the comment section. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Have a great day. And of course, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of the channel. Because of their loyal support, each and every day we've got videos being uploaded for everyone to enjoy. So a big shout out and thank you to my patrons, my YouTube membership members, for helping make these videos possible. Now again, it's time to get to the Ramble Jamble, so if you made it this far, just go a little bit more. Guys, welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. You have made it to the end. You are that type of person who just cannot be put down. You're like a dog on a bone, man. You got to find a way to get there and push through. All right, seriously though, we are talking, guys, when we start looking at the craziness that is happening, people I know pre-ordering this far in advance, knowing they can't get their money back from the LGS, they agree to, hey, I just want one box, and even if it's a horrible set, I'm going to buy it. And the LGS says, okay, I'm going to take your money. I'll guarantee you the one box. Although I've also heard that some of the allocation numbers are kind of messed up, so I gotta wait and see, because yeah, anyway, I'll get back to that. I need way more information. Either way, thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here at the end. We'll let the Optimus Prime lead us out. Just remember, Autobots transform. I'll see you guys tomorrow.